Hello everyone, this is Sushma Singh and I welcome you all to Booster Classes. Today I'm going to take you through Standard 11 English Code lesson from Hornbill book. The name of the chapter is Discovering Tut, the Saga Continues by A.R. Williams. I'm going to give you the core of the chapter in a very lucid and coherent manner. If you really want to get the in-depth explanation of this chapter, watch the video till the end. And yes, my dear students, consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. Before moving on to the detailed analysis of this interesting story, let me give you its overview first. The story Discovery to the Saga Continues describe how the last teenage ruler of the powerful Pharaoh dynasty that had ruled Egypt for centuries was discovered through the discovery of his mummy. This chapter deals with the mysteries and various theories regarding the life and death of this youngest pharaoh of ancient Egypt named Tutankhamun. The chapter also describes the useful application of the latest technology in revealing the mystery surrounding King Tut's death. It also gives a brief account of the struggle taken by the team to extract the remains of his coffin. First and foremost, let's know about King Tut and his ancestors. King Tut's grandfather, Amenhotep III, was a powerful king who ruled wisely for almost 4 decades at the height of the dynasty's golden age. His son Amenhotep IV succeeded him. Unlike his father, his reign was tumultuous and horrific. Historians found him as a very strange king. He changed his name to Akhenaten, servant of the Aten, in order to show his devotion and promoted the worship of the Aten, the sun disk. Not only did he move the religious capital from the old city of Thebes to the new city of Akhenaten, but also attacked a major god, Ammon, by smashing his images and closing down its temples. Ray Jansen, director of the University of Chicago's Research Center, described him as wacky because of his eccentric nature and decision. It was his eccentric behavior that caused turmoil in his kingdom. Thus, Amenhotep IV started one of the strangest periods in the history of ancient Egypt. However, when Tut became the king, he restored all the old laws and ways of life. He changed his own name from Tutankhaten to Tutankhamun, which means living images of Amun, to show respect to the original god Amun. However, Tut ruled for just 9 years and then died mysteriously and unexpectedly. He was the last heir of a powerful family that ruled Egypt for centuries. A veil of mystery surrounded King Tut's untimely death because he was only 19 years old when he died. The two biggest questions still lingering about King Tut are how he had died and what his age was at the time of his death. Old methods of archaeology did not provide satisfactory clues of his death. However, archaeologists wanted to ascertain the cause of his death and the age at which King Tut died. In order to unravel this mystery of his death, King Tut's mummy was scanned after 1,000 years of his death. Each scrutiny attempts to solve some of the medical mysteries. Let's now know what happened when King Tut's tomb was discovered. Howard Carter was the British archaeologist who in 1922 discovered King Tut's tomb after years of futile searching. The mummy of King Tut has earned worldwide fame for the riches it was buried with. Dazzling works of art in gold caused sensation then as well as today, and no doubt Carter took months to list down the funeral treasure. The discovery of Tut's mummy also gave an insight about basic concepts and aspects of ancient Egyptian life. Egyptians believed that there is life after death. So they buried the pharaohs with tremendous amount of wealth and golden artifacts like precious necklaces, rings, bracelets, and so on, including things of daily use like board games, a bronze razor, undergarment, cases of food, and so on, so that the king could use them in their life after death. Even it was believed that the gold would guarantee certainly their resurrection. Now, Carter found Tut's body in three nested coffins. In the first coffin, he found a shroud decorated with garlands of willow and olive leaves, wild ceremony, lotus petals, and cornflowers, all indicating that the burial took place in March or April, somewhere in March or April. Now, when he finally reached the mummy, he found that the ritual reasons had cemented Tut's mummy to the bottom of his gold coffin. Carter used all kinds of means to remove King Tut's body from the coffin. Carter knew this also, that no one could move the mummy with the use of simple and proper force or genuine force, so he tried to loosen the solidified resins by exposing it to the scorching sun. But even the heat of the sun could not melt it. It became impossible to remove the body from its coffin using any genuine methods. So Carter was left with no other option but to cut the solid resin from under limbs and trunk to free Tut's remains. What Carter did was disliked by most of the historians because Carter's men removed the mummy's head and cut almost all major joints to remove the golden ornaments. Then they reassembled the remains in a wooden box with paddling filled with a layer of sand to conceal the damage. Now, cutting had resulted in great damage to the mummy. That is why Jahi Hawass, the Secretary General of Egypt's Supreme Council of Antiquities, blamed Carter for damaging the mummy to larger extent. Carter's investigation was resented because even being an archaeologist, he did not use scientific methods and legitimate ways while excavating Tut's mummy. Now, Carter defended his action of cutting the mummy free. He said that if he hadn't cut the mummy free, thieves would certainly have found ways of avoiding the guards and plunder the gold. Archaeology has no doubt changed over the years, and it now focuses less on treasure and more on the fascinating details of life and the intriguing mysteries of death. It also uses more sophisticated tools now. The X-ray of the mummy in 1968 by an anatomy professor complicated the mysterious death of King Tut because it revealed astonishing facts about Tut and his entire body. Tut's breastbone and the front ribs were missing. Now, this fact gave definitely a clue that King Tut, in all likelihood, did not die a natural death. Here we'll come to know what happened when CT scan of King Tut's mummy was carried out. On January 5, 2005, sharp at 6 p.m., the historic archaeological event took place. The world's most famous mummy of King Tut, or Tutankhamun, was brought out of the burial chamber and a CT scan was carried out on his mummy under the supervision of Jahi Hawass to set to rest the modern world's speculation about King Tut. King Tut, a rock-cut tomb, lay 26 feet underground in Egyptian cemetery known as Valley of the Kings. Now, as the body was taken out, raging wind, furious wind began to blow, and dark-bellied clouds covered the stars that night. Tourists from around the world visited tomb to pay respect, and they looked in admiration at the murals on the walls of the burial chamber and peered at Tut's gilded face on his mummy-shaped outer coffin lid. Now, visitors were curious, thoughtful, and some even felt disturbed to think the pharaoh's curse would definitely befall those who disturbed him. Initially, the costly scanner machine could not function properly due to sand in cooler fan. And even the guards jokingly remarked that King had expressed his annoyance at being disturbed. However, plastic fans were brought as substitute, and the whole process of scanning was completed without further hindrance. Now, CT scan created definitely a three-dimensional image of Tut's entire body, and clear images of Tut's head, neck vertebrae, rib cage, hand and skull were visible. The results proved that nothing had seriously gone wrong with Tut's body. After the scan, the pharaoh returned to coffin to rest in peace, and Jahi Hawass, one of the members of the teams of researchers, heaved a sigh of relief at the happy conclusion of the whole excavation and the scan procedure. He was now a relaxed person because nothing had gone wrong while scanning was carried out. No information was missed out. Evidently, the curse of the pharaoh had not hindered the work of the technician. The whole excavation process and the scan was definitely a grueling job, and the workers had tough time. Jahi Hawass was hence worried, thinking of the seriousness of the extraction and reconstruction, so last previous night he could not sleep soundly. Finally, the nature was also at rest. What happened actually when King Tut was finally led to rest? The wind stopped blowing and there was complete silence. Just like nothing moves after death, nothing was moving in this valley of death. Just above the entrance of the tomb of King Tut, an image of Orion, constellation known to ancient Egyptians as soul of Osiris, the god of afterlife, was sparkling. It seemed to be supervising the young pharaoh returning to his rightful place. The title is a befitting one because it gives us an idea about the kind of exploration conducted by Carter in 1922. And the title is even justified by the fact that the legacy of the young pharaoh who died early under mysterious circumstances has continued to flourish even after thousands of years. In spite of the mummy having been discovered by Howard Carter in 1922, there was a lot that was unexplained, so the discovery had not yet stopped. The team of researchers were trying to ascertain the cause of Tut's death, and the saga continues. Three important takeaways from this chapter are: scientific intervention is necessary to unearth buried mysteries. Advanced technology gives us conclusive and accurate evidence of past events. Knowledge about the past is useful to complete our knowledge of the world we live in, as well as for continual development of the world. I am extremely hopeful that you all must have got the in-depth explanation of this chapter. Students, these questions, a few important questions from the chapter will definitely help you to deepen your understanding. So without fail, to give an attempt, and you can just take help from the explanation which I have given to you. I hope you all will be able to solve these questions definitely. Keep watching and keep learning. Thank you for watching.